There are an estimated 25 million Sikhs worldwide, making it one of the top 10 most popular religions in the world. Yet it is often a highly misunderstood faith. Although there are between 200,000 and 500,000 Sikhs in the U.S., the majority of the American people admit to knowing nothing about Sikh Americans, compared to 76% who say they know something about Muslim Americans and 86% who know something about Jewish Americans. With that in mind, let's try to spread a greater understanding of how this prevalent faith began as we explore the origins of Sikhism. The subcontinent of India has developed a well-earned reputation for religious tolerance. It is home to what is often cited as the world's oldest religion, Hinduism, and was also the birthplace of Jainism and Buddhism. Islam was established in India at the end of the 12th century. While some Muslim rulers were anti-Hindu, others were more tolerant, and Indian people from each faith were generally able to coexist peacefully. In the late 15th century, in the Punjab region of India, a boy named Nanak was born around 40 miles from Lahore in modern-day Pakistan. Nanak's family were Hindus, but Nanak was interested in all religions and studied Islam alongside Hinduism. He also showed an aptitude for poetry and philosophy. As with many religious leaders, numerous traditions state Nanak's birth and childhood were marked with events that signaled Nanak was destined for something great. One legend states that, at age 11, Nanak rebelled against the traditions of Hinduism. He had been born into a subcaste of the mercantile Khatri caste, which gave him a relatively high social rank. When other boys in his caste began wearing the sacred thread to denote their status, Nanak refused, declaring that people should be distinguished for their deeds and qualities rather than by a thread. As Nanak grew older, he continued to question the practices of both Hinduism and Islam, arguing that penances, pilgrimages, and poverty were merely external trappings, and that true spirituality was about internal changes within a person's soul. According to Sikh legend, Nanak bathed in the river early each morning, and once he was clean, he would say his prayers. One day at dawn, his friend Mardana was sitting by the river when Nanak went in to bathe, submerging himself in the river. As time passed, Mardana noticed his friend had not yet resurfaced, and he began to look for Nanak, calling his name, but he could not see him. His increasingly frantic calling alerted the villagers, who came to help search the river for Nanak, looking downstream, on the opposite bank, and using nets to drag the river. Their search proved unfruitful, and Mardana was left mourning on the riverbank with Nanak's sister. 3 days later, Nanak emerged from the river and declared, "There is no Muslim, there is no Hindu. God is not a Hindu or a Muslim. Whose path shall I follow? God's path." Nanak's spiritual experience confirmed what he had always thought. Spiritual growth came from meditation and living in a way that reflects the presence of the divine within. Around 1496, he left his wife and children and embarked on a series of spiritual journeys through India, Tibet, and the Middle East, although his exact route has never been verified. According to one version, Nanak made 5 trips in total. First, he traveled eastwards, then southwards, reaching Sri Lanka. Next, Nanak traveled north into the Himalayas and west to Baghdad, Mecca, and Medina. Finally, he returned to journey around the Punjab. Accompanying him on his travels was a Muslim musician, his friend Mardana, and the pair preached their message in the form of hymns known as shabads. There are many tales from Nanak's journey, including one about his visit to Mecca. When he entered the city, he lay down in a mosque with his feet pointed at the mihrab, a niche indicating the direction of the Kaaba, Islam's most important mosque and holiest site. As this was considered very bad manners, a judge demanded an explanation for Nanak's actions. In response, Nanak asked the judge to drag his feet away from the mihrab. The judge did so, but found that wherever he placed Nanak's feet, the mihrab would move to align with them. The story's lesson is that God is everywhere and not in any particular direction. Nanak taught his followers to lead a spiritual life without the need for monasticism. He encouraged them to let go of lust, wrath, greed, attachment, and conceit, known as the 5 thieves, and advocated justice, equality, and the service of humankind. His journey is said to have lasted 30 years, and due to the suggestion in 4 Sikh hymns that Nanak was present at attacks at Sadpur and Lahore that were conducted in 1520 by an invading Mughal ruler, many historians conclude that he was back in the Punjab region by that point. Nanak spent the rest of his life in Kartarpur, a village in central Punjab. According to Sikh tradition, the town had been purposely built for Nanak by a wealthy admirer. Here, he laid the foundations for a new Sikh community. He continued his teachings, stressing that rituals and priests were not required to directly access God, who is shapeless, timeless, and invisible. He asserted that God had created many worlds, as well as life itself, and that leading an honest life was a spiritual goal. Some converts became permanent residents of the village, and others periodically visited to obtain a blessing from Guru Nanak. His teachings were expressed in the devotional hymns written for communal singing, and many of those original hymns still survive today. Nanak's death is usually cited as either in 1538 or 1539, but is generally given as September 22, 1539. As his followers were a mix of Hindus and Muslims, when Guru Nanak approached death, they argued over how to perform his last rites. Those from a Hindu background wanted to cremate Nanak's body, as per their custom, whereas Muslims were always washed and buried as soon as possible after death. After arguing, they approached their dying guru and asked him what they should do. Nanak instructed them to bring flowers upon his death, which the Hindus would place on the right side of his body, while the Muslims should lay theirs on his left. He instructed them to return after one night. Whichever side the flowers remained would signal which religious leader should perform the last rites. After Nanak died and the flowers were placed, his followers returned the following day to find all the flowers fresh, but Nanak's mortal remains had disappeared. Nanak was the first of the 10 gurus who established the Sikh religion. In the Punjab, Sikh means learner or seeker of truth. Sikhs call their faith Gurmat, or the way of the Guru. Each of the 9 subsequent gurus added to the Sikh doctrine and is hailed as embodying the sanctity and divinity of Guru Nanak's spirit. Rather than a reincarnation of the first guru, Sikhs hold that Nanak was gifted a divine light by his religious experience, and that light was passed from one guru to the next, making each guru one spirit, thought, and deed. The second guru was a man named Lena. He was born in 1504 and became a follower of Nanak, who chose Lena as his successor in 1539. Nanak changed Lena's name and he became Guru Angad. Guru Angad invented and introduced the written form of the Punjabi language, called Gurmukhi, to the Sikh community. He was a keen advocate of education and opened many schools for children, increasing literacy in his community. Seeing that physical exercise was as important as spiritual exercise, Guru Angad started the tradition of Mal Ankara, where martial arts, wrestling, and health education were taught. As communal eating was a part of the Sikh community, in which all attendees sat on an equal level, Guru Angad expanded on this practice, called Langar, and promoted the idea of having a large kitchen to prepare enough food for anyone eager to enjoy a meal. Before Guru Angad passed away in 1552, he named his successor Guru Amar. Guru Amar was born in 1479 and had fought against caste restrictions, prejudices, and the curse of untouchability. He strengthened the tradition of Langar and helped establish social equality amongst his people. Guru Amar also introduced the Sikh marriage ceremony, the Anand Karaj. He abolished the custom of sati, in which a widow was forced to throw herself onto the funeral pyre of her deceased husband, and the custom of purdah, where a woman was required to cover her face with a veil. The fourth guru was Guru Ram Das Ji, who obtained the position in 1574. Guru Ram Das founded the city of Amritsar and began construction on the Sikh Golden Temple, which remains open to everyone on all sides at all times. Guru Ram Das introduced the appointment of masans, who were charged with the care of defined congregations called sangats, and he also composed a 4-stanza hymn sung at the Anand Karaj. Guru Ram Das was succeeded by his third son, Guru Arjan Dev, in 1581. Guru Arjan Dev composed the sixth sacred scripture and completed the work on the Golden Temple. The sixth guru, Guru Hargobind, the son of Arjan Dev, broke away from the pacifism of his predecessors. He felt that the practice of non-violence would encourage evil and establish the principles of Miri Puri. Guru Hargobind became guru in 1606 at the age of 11, as his father had been executed on the orders of Mughal Emperor Jahangir. Legend has it that Hargobind bore 2 swords at his succession ceremony to represent his twin authority as the temporal, Miri, and spiritual, Puri, head of his community. He built up a Sikh army on the principle that it was necessary to take up arms in order to protect the weak and oppressed. Guru Hargobind was succeeded by his grandson, Guru Har Rai, in 1644. Unlike his grandfather, Guru Har Rai spent most of his time in devotional meditation. He was a man of peace and actively avoided conflict while devoting himself to missionary work. However, he did not disband the force of Sikh armed warriors and continued to boost the military spirit of the Sikhs. Unfortunately, Guru Har Rai's policies of peace were undermined when he was forced to deliver his son, Ram Rai, as hostage to the Mughal leader, Aurangzeb. Ram Rai was then educated in the Mughal court, which led him to alter the words of Guru Nanak, causing Guru Har Rai to declare he could never be Guru. In 1661, Guru Har Rai's 5-year-old son became the 8th and youngest Guru, Hari Krishan. Guru Hari Krishan was summoned to Delhi by Aurangzeb, where he contracted smallpox while serving the epidemic-stricken people there. It is thought he named his successor the son of Guru Hargobind from his second marriage, although it is possible someone else named his successor for him. In 1665, Tegh Bahadur became the penultimate human form of the Sikh Guru. He wrote several hymns that were the last to be added to the original Adi Granth collection. According to Sikh tradition, Guru Tegh Bahadur was arrested for helping Kashmiri Brahmins avoid conversion to Islam. He was offered a choice of conversion or death, of which he chose death, and he was beheaded. A Sikh witnessed his execution and stole his headless body so that he could be cremated. To do so without raising suspicion, he burned down his house with the body inside. Meanwhile, 3 outcast Sikhs took the head and carried it to Anandpur, an act that earned them and their successors the title of Rangreddy Sikhs. The last human guru was Tegh Bahadur's son, Guru Gobind Singh. He was guru from 1675 to 1708. He was highly educated, and on his succession after his father's execution, he continued his education in the Shiwalik Hills. On Baisakhi Day, Indian New Year, around 1699, all Sikhs were ordered to attend a fair that was to be held at Anandpur, and Guru Gobind Singh declared the creation of Khalsa, meaning the pure, a purified and evolved Sikh community. Soon after, Guru Gobind Singh was attacked by Shiwalik chieftains allied with the Mongol governor. Of his 4 sons, 2 died in the attack and the other 2 were taken as prisoners. Their fates are unknown. Guru Gobind Singh was assassinated in 1708 and is considered the most important guru since Guru Nanak. Thereafter, there was only one Sikh guru, the Guru Granth Sahib, the scripture of the Sikhs. Never again would the Sikhs have a guru in human form, and the Granth Sahib is considered the supreme spiritual authority and head of the Sikh religion. How would you like to get a deeper understanding of history, impress your friends, and predict the future more accurately based on past events? If this sounds like something you might be into, then check out the brand new Captivating History Book Club by clicking the first link in the description. To learn more about the history of the Sikh religion, check out our book, Sikh History, a captivating guide to the story of Sikhism from spiritual beginnings to heroic stands. It's available as an ebook, paperback, and audiobook. If you found the video captivating, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.